Sporty greetings. What's going on at the Australian Open on Tuesday, January the 21st? We cannot forget when Novak Djokovic defied injury, age, and ranking to stun Carlos Alcaraz. He produced a remarkable comeback that got the tennis world talking, and so he qualified for the semi-finals of the Australian Open. Tennis pundit stated clearly that Djokovic was clear favourite to win that semi-final contest against Alexander Zverev, but a bad muscle tear said no, and Djokovic had to quit after losing the first set. An annoying incident happened. Novak Djokovic was booed off the court by some Australian Open fans after retiring. I'll come back to that conversation because it wasn't sportsmanly. Djokovic was bidding for a record-extending 11th title at the Australian Open, quit after losing the first set 7-6 in 80 minutes. So he had to endure that pain for 80 minutes. That's over an hour. The 37-year-old Serb had his upper left leg heavily taped after injuring it in Tuesday's quarter-final win over Carlos Alcaraz. And if you followed my review after that contest, I said he needed to go through the pain to get the gain. I didn't know that I was going to hunt Djokovic, because that game was played on Tuesday and he was meeting Alexander Zverev on Friday. So I was like, okay, Djokovic would have been ready. His medical team would have done, a good work to try to patch it. And you could tell right from when the game started that Djokovic wasn't himself. So it is what it is. He had to retire. So the final for the men's single will be Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev. I'll get into Jannik Sinner later. I'll talk about his win over Shelton and how he's now in pole position to retain his Australian Open title. But let's talk about what happened with Novak Djokovic right there at Melbourne Park. Not a good one, Djokovic explained that, yes, he understands that fans paid so much money. They were expecting to see a good game of tennis, particularly after getting a sneak peek of what to expect, in that semi-finals because of what they saw in the quarterfinals. But hey, that's life for you. You shit happens, You never just know when something will go wrong. So it's quite a disappointment that tennis fans, right there in Australia turned against Djokovic. They booed him, and that's not really good for someone who has been there, done that for the sport, arguably the greatest player of all time. When you talk about tennis, yes, take that. It's Novak Djokovic, and he deserves some respect. So it's not a good one. It's not a good one. So let's see what's going to come out of this. We're hearing talks that he might end his relationship with Andy Murray. I think they can still try to go through the other Grand Slams and see what they can get out of it. You remember what happened with Djokovic in 2024, where he didn't get to win any of the Grand Slam titles, but had a good one at the Olympics, beating Carlos Alcaraz to take off an Olympic gold medal in his bucket list. So that's the story. It's a sad one for Novak Djokovic fans. In fact, fans of tennis who were hoping to see, a record-breaking performance. Djokovic was aiming for that world record to become the only tennis player to win 25 Grand Slam titles, and of course, a record-extending 11th at the Australian Open. But it's not just going to happen. That booing, a lot of reactions, came out of it. I heard former Australian player John Millman, and he said it was a total lack of respect, and I totally agree. Fans, we can do better. Look, these guys, they've got mental health also going on. They've got a lot of things they deal with. Djokovic trying to understand what happened, with that muscle tear. He wants to play in the final. He wants to break records. He wants to get back to winning ways. He loves winning in Melbourne. Just try and understand that the guy would be questioning himself and in a very dark place, trying to understand what just happened, with that retirement. So the least fans want to do is support him, is cheer him up, wish him well, not booing Novak Djokovic. Go to look him up again. That's Novak Djokovic that has given us moments, moments that we'll live with for a very long time, So I'm against that booing, and please, fans, that's so unsportsmanship. Let's not do it again. It's not anything that we should be proud of. It's totally unacceptable and should be out of the game. Not just tennis, out of sports completely. Let's show some love to these sportsmen and women when they come out there to entertain us. So that's the story. Novak Djokovic retired in his semi-final match against Alexander Zverev. It's quite painful. It happened in the first set. He tried, he pushed it, played with pain for 80 minutes. That's even a lot of time, but it just couldn't go on. So I told you that it's going to be Alexander Zverev versus Jannik Sinner, who is the defending champion at the Australian Open. Jannik Sinner, in his game against American Shelton on Rod Laver Arena, won 7-6. 6-2, 6-2. Pretty straightforward win for Jannik Sinner. I think he's playing breathtaking tennis, and now everyone is saying, oh, he's the one that can go on to win it. Oh, he's there. Hey, guys, calm down. Tennis isn't like that. Sorry, a world of sports, impossible is nothing. Anything can happen. Yes, Zverev has been unfortunate. 2 finals, no win. But I think he's done enough to be consistent, and maybe the luck of tennis might just fall on him this time around. So let's just wait to see what that final game will give to us. Zverev is still bidding for a major first title after losing his previous 2 finals, I mentioned. And now he faces a daunting task against the informed Sinner in Sunday's final. So that's it for the men. For the women, what a story also. Madison Keys, who would have thought that Madison Keys will beat the respected, the fantastic Iga Swiatek? That's tennis for you. I just said it. In our world of sports, anything can happen. So the women's final between 2-time defending champion Aryna Sabalenka. She had a fantastic 2024, winning 2 Grand Slam titles. She's defending champion at the Australian Open. And she will be taking on Madison Keys. And what Madison Keys did against Iga Swiatek, guys, look, don't sleep on her. Upset is part of the game. But Madison Keys looking for her first Grand Slam title. She's 29. Can that push her? She has played breathtaking tennis also. She's been on a fantastic run. I think 11-game winning streak. So that can count for something. That's good motivation. But against Aryna Sabalenka, the way she took her Badosa, just like I said, that's my soulmate, my friend, and then she just swept her aside, just pushed her away like, look, you can't stop me, I'm going for my title. And the big one, there's a record at stake in that women's final. She aims to become the first woman in 26 years to win 3 successive Australian Open titles with a commanding 6-4, 6-2 win over her close friend, Paula Badosa. So she wants to do that. Who holds that record? Sabalenka is aiming to emulate Martina Hingis. Remember the legend Martina. 3 straight titles between 1997 to 1999. So she's done 2. Does she make it the 3rd one in the final against Madison Keys? I think she has a quality. I think the odds favor her. But look, anything can happen. And as I said, Madison Keys, she is a hard hitter. She pushed Iga Swiatek. She stayed focused, did that thing, won that game. So Sabalenka should be worried. She cannot afford to be complacent. But at the end of the day, tennis will give us the winner. Records waiting to be shattered. Can Madison Keys win her first Grand Slam title? Can Aryna Sabalenka go on to win a 3rd successful Grand Slam title and break Martina Hingis' record? Can Alexander Zverev stun Jannik Sinner to win his first Grand Slam title? Can Jannik Sinner do his thing to defend his Australian Open title? I'll come back again and I'll tell you when all of these happen. Tennis will give us the winners. I'll see you again. That's it.